G'day everyone, DJ Darks here. Usual start.
Phoenix,
And
yeah,
DJ
hi.
Phoenix. Wow. How do we even start this?
No words.
No words.
No words.
Alright, so I just want to highlight the last 2 days that we've had. That's a good start, I guess.
Yeah,
Basically, Matt came in on the Saturday. No, it's alright. It's fine. Yeah. Matt came in on the Saturday night, so we literally just came to the hotel and slept. But the past 2 days have been the biggest 2DX binge I've had in years. Okay, let me out. Actually, I'll get you to outline. Tell me about like your first day.
the first day. Let me see if I remember this in like the right order. So like we woke up,
Yeah.
and then
We got.
we got ramen, yeah,
Yep.
from that one place that was really good. And then we went to Adores first.
Mm-hmm.
That was it, and then we played on. No, we went to round one first.
Yeah. No, yeah, we went to round one.
Went to
Played
round
on
one
some
first.
Average machines.
And the machines were really bad. They weren't average. They were just bad. Played like Reflect Beat and other stuff too. But after we got tired of the terrible machines, we went over to this other place that was literally right next to round one, called Adores, and it had 6 machines or 7. 7 machines, and they were all like different
Setups.
key weights and everything.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting.
It was interesting.
Some of the machines like had what the weights were,
Mm.
which I thought was kind of nice, but I didn't really like any of them, except for the one really good one that was like 100 gram switches, 20 gram springs, because
That
it's
was
amazing.
That was freaking awesome to play on. Seriously.
Yeah, and even the screen was like really on point. Screen, the turntable, because like the other machines, like I remember the
One went
the
off
machine.
sync.
Oh yeah, one of them drifted. Or no, that was at round one.
That was around one
Yeah,
machine.
one of those
yeah.
machines drifted. That was awful.
Yeah, like we'll speed through it, so we can talk about it another time. So obviously lots of 2DX, and then
Lots.
more ramen,
More ramen,
more 2DX.
more 2DX.
We played until about midnight.
Yeah, and since we started at like one.
And here's the thing:
12.
the last arcade we tried, so we went to 4 different arcades. The last one was Taito Station in Shinjuku,
Mhm.
right? And
That was the
The
best
machine.
machine I've ever played on in my life. Yeah.
because we found out Yusuke took us there because he said, oh, there's an arcade which the top rankers sometimes play at in my area, and it's really good. It's got like 7 machines, so we're like, oh, we want to check it out because we want to see what the ranking machines are like.
Yeah.
And yeah, me too. My god, it's one of the best machines I've ever played on in my life, like hands down.
The keys, like I cannot talk enough about those keys. They were really loud,
Yeah,
and I don't know what made
the
them
sounds,
so
the
loud.
resistance were just bang on.
Oh,
Turntable was just incredible.
Since I never even considered that kind of key
Yeah.
configuration either.
It's just like it's opened up new doors.
It
into-
really has.
So yeah, we played there until like 8:30. Matt got a bunch of like new scores, didn't you? You
I
a
got
few.
some. I was doing
Yeah.
really. Slow.
I beasted a whole bunch of stuff. Like
You
I
were doing
killed. I
machines.
killed so many
Oh my
scores. And yeah, the second day, so obviously we came back around like 2. We went to bed at like 3 just because we were watching the Korean Cup.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so we went to bed. Woke up next day, same thing. Went to Akihabara.
That was today.
Yep.
What did we eat for lunch again? I don't even remember.
We got curry.
Oh, that's right,
But
we got
first,
curry
but
at
first
Coco.
we went to Leisureland.
Oh yeah, we went to Leisureland for a
How were the
little bit.
machines at Leisureland?
The keys were really light.
Really light.
Really light, so like I would just get random pours out of nowhere.
That's the
Just
thing.
like-
Like, yeah.
Yeah, like I couldn't really do that good. But the monitor was okay. The turntables were pretty nice. So you kind of deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's not that
I
bad.
played there for like probably 30 to 45 minutes. Not
Yeah,
very
until I
long.
realized that the Pacelli charger was broken and I couldn't actually play. So I was like, guys, I want to leave.
Yeah. We were gonna go to Leisureland 2 because I guess there's a
Yeah,
sequel.
because they've got one that
Yeah.
works. But anyway, no, we were hungry. Grant was hungry.
Mm.
We met up with Grant, so we didn't even mention that Grant was there.
DJ High. Yeah,
DJ High.
famous.
DJ High met up with us, so we were hanging out with him.
Mhm.
And yeah, he got hungry, we got hungry, so we went to Coco Ichiban, got some curry. Then instead of going to Leisureland 2, because I knew the machines there were a piece of shit,
It's awful, yeah.
we decided to go to a place called Tri Tower.
Just amazing.
Which,
Absolutely amazing.
Wow, that place had 7 machines. 7 machines, all of them different layouts, some light, some heavy.
Well, it wasn't. It didn't. I don't think all of them were different layouts. It was just like there was about 2 or 3 general layouts that.
Yeah,
each
so
machine
so one was like gorilla setup, like Derek setup, was 200 gram. So 100,
Even
100.
the rest were pretty heavy. It was like
Yeah.
160, I think, or
Yeah,
170.
yeah. And the softer one, even the softer ones felt a little bit heavy.
The
honestly.
softer ones had to be at least 130 or 120.
Yeah, like they weren't soft. It was a very heavy arcade. But they had two new machines in another corner,
Those were the best.
which were phenomenal. Like they felt like the ones at Taito Station, honestly.
Honestly, they did, yeah.
They
was
felt exactly
really
the same.
good.
They were great machines. And
Absolutely.
while we were there, there was one player who was waiting in line who was watching us, and he saw me get some records. I was like, "Ooh, Suge." I was like, "Oh, who's this scrub?"
Yeah.
Puts in his card. Turns out his name's DJ Rowan,
Oh, yeah.
and
He's
DJ,
like a
yeah,
beast.
he's like a Derek Good,
Yeah. He's like
which is just so scary to see.
disgusting.
He was disgustingly good. So we saw him, took a break, went upstairs, played some other money games, and then yep, and then we came back, watched Grant frickin' clear Ongaku.
Oh, my God.
It's
That
just
was so hype.
ridiculous.
So
Grant,
stupid.
by the way, yeah, there's a new, like, Grant is the new kid on the block. Holy crap,
Yeah.
he cleared Ongaku. That's what I'm gonna say. Like,
EX
holy
on
shit.
Poppin', just to be clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So popping Ongaku, he cleared that. And while we were watching that, Yusuke's like, guys, I don't mean to alarm you, but there's a guy behind you who's got Shakunetsu AAA.
Yeah,
And we
looked
all
over there.
instantly just beeline over to the 2DX machine to look at this guy.
And it was like not a border AAA.
It
either.
wasn't.
It
It
was
was
like a AAA plus like
plus
70
100.
Or, no,
70
it wasn't 100. It was
not
like
100, but-
60 or 70, I think.
Yeah, but still, it was a insane score.
And
I
he
would
was
like,
doing crap, but it was still amazing
Yeah.
because he was so accurate with scratches.
yeah, it was crazy. And it turned out that this guy has Toshiya rivaled, so 1048 rivaled. He's got everything basically AAA'd, almost everything.
Yeah, I think I saw him.
He
on
AAA'd Thor's,
Hammer.
which is just ridiculous. And yeah, made AAA, all that stuff. And his name was DJ Snow. And I don't know if you guys know DJ Snow, but apparently he's been around for like ages. And he's 30 years old. He's been playing for forever. Like Derek said, he was a top rank around like 6th style and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we saw him. We're like, whoa, that's the highlight of the day.
Yeah,
It's
it
like,
just-
holy shit.
How
Like, it's
can
not,
it get any better?
it can't get
than
any
that?
better than
Seeing
that.
a top ranker, like a past top
Yes,
ranker player.
past top ranker person playing. We're
How
like,
can
wow,
it
that's
get any
amazing.
better?
So we see that. Eventually, we get tired. So we look around at Akihabara a bit.
Yeah.
Akihabara was nice.
We went to
Then
Ueno.
then we went to Ueno. We ate dinner in Ueno. We got a nice beat on.
Very good.
And then after that, because we loved Taito Station so much, we're like, this place is freaking amazing. To end of the day, why don't we just go there and play a few rounds? And
Yeah, a few rounds.
yeah, a few rounds. So we go to Taito Station. Obviously, the machines are incredible. So we're just experimenting on different machines, seeing like which ones are good or bad.
I was
And
doing pretty good at first.
and you were, yeah, you're doing alright.
My timing was finally back after
Yeah.
crap for the past days.
Yeah, Matt's had a pretty average like play over the past few days,
I don't know if I was
but
just,
you're
like,
starting to, yeah,
I
you're starting
got
to get
it
that.
back. So.
He got it back, so he was doing alright. And while we were playing, you know, I was just having a look around, and I
Wait,
noticed.
No, before.
Oh, before that,
That-
like, there weren't many people at the arcade, and, you know, we kept just joking around, like, oh man, Toshia's gonna show up, because we knew that Toshia goes to that arcade.
Yeah.
And we're like, you know, oh, is that guy Toshia? Is that guy Toshia? just as a joke. And,
Yeah.
okay, genuinely, I was checking.
Well,
but,
but the first when we walked in, we saw the first guy.
yeah, so there was a guy sitting and waiting for a machine, and we're like, oh yeah, this is probably some sport, whatever. And, so we're playing a set, both, like, we were on separate machines, and I'm still, like, I'm
talking about XXXX. That guy.
oh shit, I forgot about that. Okay, when we first walked in, we see this one guy who's playing, and he's standing pretty casual at the machine. And then you look across at his graphs, and you're like, hang on a second, that guy's got like, oh my god,
Like, well, I don't even remember when I first
the
saw
most
him play.
ridiculous scores
Like,
I've ever
he
seen.
played the hardest shit, and like,
Destroyed it.
he had everything AAA.
He has everything AAA. Yeah, this guy called XXXXXX. He's rivaling. Who was he rivaling again?
I think he was
Jaws or
rivaling-
something like that.
No, Keel.
Keel. He's rivaling
Yeah.
Keel.
He's the guy that plays at Dolce's Arcade, I think. And
Yeah.
He's like basically top ranker.
He's also basically top ranker. But
Yeah.
this dude, did not look like he gave a fuck when he was
He
standing.
gave no shits and like almost full combo Bad Maniac.
Yeah, you got 2 misses on Bad Maniacs with like a plus, what, 120?
Yeah, and he was
He's
just like all
eh.
casual about it.
And when he got off the machine, he's just like, it's alright, I guess.
He gave this look that was just like, yeah, that was decent. Oh, he played Himiko too, just
Yeah,
hard
and
cleared it casually.
hard cleared it casually, triple A minus like 70.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god.
Without floating ice cream.
Yeah, I could not believe that.
No.
This is disgusting.
He had an EX hard cleared too,
Yeah.
triple A plus like 70 or 80 or something. So that was amazing.
Yeah, so we saw one game, we're like, wow, you know, it's not going to get any better than this.
No.
So we go on to the other machines, we start playing, and I just casually, on a whim, like mid-game, I decide to walk to see how Matt's doing. And I notice that there's this one guy sitting and I'm watching a player. I'm like, okay, so who's this other guy? So I decided to just take a quick look around at the machine, because the machines are like laid out in like a row, and you can't really see. So I look back at the machine, and I say, oh, okay, so someone's playing. I look at the graph, he's playing Mint, right? Which, ironically enough, it was Mint.
Yeah.
Ironically, it was
Not
Mint.
the only one like that, huh?
He, I look at the graph, and I see that his best is touching max.
Yeah, like
And
yeah.
I knew straight away, I was like, that guy's touching up. And Matt's beasting F. He's getting a good score in F. I just go to Matt's machine, I'm like, hey Matt, Toshi's playing behind you.
Yeah, and I
and-
just totally like fucked it up. Like,
And
I
I
didn't care, and then I
I
left.
quit my
and-
game. I quit my game. I did not play. I was just like, fuck it, I don't care, I'm gonna stop playing. I walk over. Matt obviously just stops giving a shit too. He stops playing.
I played really shit, and I was just like, whatever. I just walked away.
Yeah, we both just walked away from the cabinets to watch, because we were like, oh my god.
I still caught like the second half of Mint, so.
Yeah, Toshi is like right in front of us playing
my
right
God.
now. Interestingly, just to talk about him appearance-wise, you've probably seen the picture that Yusuke put up, but he looks so different to how he looked in Top
Very
Ranker.
different, like,
The reason why we didn't notice it was him is just because he looks completely different. He's in holiday mode at the moment, obviously,
yeah,
but
yeah.
he's unshaven, he's got like a bit of a hat, and yeah, like he's not the image that you'd expect of,
Yeah.
like from the Top Ranker videos and stuff.
Exactly.
Anyway, so we're just watching him, and Yusuke's like, do you guys want to talk to him? We're like, do we want to talk to him? Holy shit. So Toshi's playing his round, he played Mint, he played... I don't remember the second or third, but I remember he played Black at the end, and it just blew our minds.
God.
He-
He almost beat his score until the very end.
Yeah, he was like -10 his record, and then at the very end he just choked. But oh yeah, he played scripted too. And that's the thing I wanted to point out. Listening to his clicks on scripted were insane. Like, you know, like when you watch a Top Ranker video and you can sort of hear it in the background. When you are there and you could hear every single note that he hit was like that. It was so crisp.
It's ridiculous. It was so different.
And you got a
from watching the
shit
video.
random, and even on that shit random, it sounded like he got a slap. It
yeah,
was.
like he was hitting so clear. He hits really hard.
He hits so hard. I couldn't believe it. Like, you can hear every click that he makes.
Yeah.
So, alright, so he finished this set. He walks off, and Yusuke approaches him and says, oh, sorry, we just wanted to talk with you really quickly. And he mentions, like, in Japanese, obviously.
Yeah.
He's like, this guy's from America, this guy's from Australia. And obviously, you know, he's very surprised. He's like, ooh. And he said, you know, they're both 2DX players. They're both pretty good. Would you mind if they played rounds with you? I was like, oh, holy shit. And he's just like, oh, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, let's play together. I was like, holy shit. So I go up first. I am shitting myself.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Because I'm like, holy shit. I'm right next to, like, one of the top 10 players in Japan. Playing a set. And obviously I go up. I tell him in Japanese. I'm like, oh, I'm shitting myself. Like, I cannot believe this is happening. We play a round. He started off with, what was it? That Overload Frontier, which I scrubbed out on so bad because I was just like buzzing from just the experience.
Yeah, you got like minus 200 from your record.
I didn't care. I was just like, oh my god, this is amazing.
You got like minus 40 from his, and you got like a max minus 100 something.
Yeah, it
Like
was
120.
gross. It was so gross.
What the
And
heck?
I completely forgot that first set. I do not remember what I played after that.
Oh, it was Overload Frontier.
Yeah,
And I think that was when he played.
we played 12s. I remember that.
1 or 8?
No, that was way later.
Oh, actually, yeah, that was.
But yeah, long story short, I played around with him. I did really terribly because I was like so nervous. And then
Goldwyn.
no, that was another round.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't remember. Anyway, look, so I played around. I sucked, and then Matt played around, and he. Were you sucking then? I can't remember. Yeah, because he couldn't find the offset. Matt was quite a sucker. But when Toshia saw Matt's scores, he actually said like, "Oh man, like his scores are really high." And I told him that Matt is basically number 2 in America at the moment, and he's like, "Oh, that's really good." And then Yusuke adds, he's like, "He's 19." He's like, "What? 19?" So yeah, look, we could go on about like all the sets we played, but I think we should get into the nitty gritty. Basically, after the 2 sets that we played, we chatted to him for like an hour. I think I swear it was an hour.
It was like at least an hour.
Yeah. So like after we played, we started like just talking to him in general. He asked me about Australia. He's like, "Oh, so what's 2DX like in Australia?" I'm like, "Well, we got a Tricora machine. It's pretty shit. We've got like 7 machines." And then he asked about California and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, they've got round 1 in California." He was really surprised to hear just like how many machines there are outside of Japan. He never knew that there were so many. And then Matt asked him like a really in-depth question. He was like, "What was the question you asked?" He's like, "How
are you so like adaptable and flexible with your playstyle?"
Yeah, so Yusuke asked him that, and he was just like, "Oh shit, this is a really long explanation.
Yeah.
Are you guys okay with this?" And I'm so glad that he actually spoke about this, but
He went super in depth with it, and that's what took most of the hour before he
yeah,
started playing.
like what amazed me was like, okay, I want to put this out before we do anything. Like, we went in with this preconception that Toshio would be a giant dick because obviously I'd seen some of his blogs where he's like, "You're an idiot," and obviously Yusuke had known him in the past, and said he got really pissed off because he was smoking and stuff. And it's interesting, Yusuke actually said to him, "It's like, actually we met 3 years ago and you got annoyed at me for smoking." And Toshio's like, "Oh really? I'm so sorry about that." Like,
really?
Yeah. He actually said, he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry about back then. I didn't really mean it or anything like that." So I think like just like a lot of other players, Hexagon. I think Toshi's matured. Like Yusuke said, he thinks that Toshi's matured a lot over the last 4 to 5 years. Like he was so chilled about everything, and he was like really nice talking to us. And like we had this idea he's going to be a giant douche, but in the actual fact, he was just such a nice guy.
He really was.
Really nice guy. I was surprised he even let us play with him. He was just like, "Oh no, seriously, I love like battling with people. It's really fun."
Wow.
So he was actually really happy to be playing with us. And yeah, so aside from what we thought, he's just actually really friendly, and he was so approachable with everything.
Yeah, like we asked him so many questions, and he never like.
But the thing is, he never looked upset. He was actually happy.
Yeah, like he was really enthusiastic about it too.
Yeah, we should get to the actual information because it's been like 19 minutes, and we've just been
ranting about.
Anyway, so he went into detail about like technique, because I told him how popular his technique is overseas and how everyone refers to your technique for how to play now, because it's just so, I don't know, like it's universal now.
Yeah, it is.
And he said, yeah, it's the same for like BMS and stuff. Like people use that because it's the most versatile. But when it came to versatility, because he even said like, "Oh, I don't play like that all the time. Like I play a whole bunch of different styles." And like Matt asked him like, "So how do you develop that style? How do you do that?" And I'll palm this off to you, because I mean,
yeah, I wanted to know, because like looking at videos of him, like his hand style is so flexible, and it's just so smooth and fluid. It just looks amazing. I wanted to know like how he did that, and he explained it. He explained like timing in general in such a way that I had never ever thought of it before. He was talking about how, first off, we mentioned he hits really hard.
Yeah.
Well, he said that you have to hit hard to time. So that's one thing he kind of emphasized. He said, what was it, hitting streams or like 130 BPM streams as eighth notes.
Yeah. So he was talking originally. He said like, okay, think about 5.1.1.
Yeah.
Like, all right, like, because you couldn't understand the whole thing, could you?
No.
Right, I think we'll have to go back and forth on this. But
Yeah.
he said, think of 5.1.1 and how it's 100 BPM, and he was like, okay, think of the first roll, and how it's, you know, 3 and 5. And when you think about it realistically, it's basically 16ths 100 BPM, but it's 8th notes at 200. So if you practice that, it's like hitting 8th notes, like the 16ths as 8th notes. Yeah. So it's taking that like idea of hitting 8th notes as opposed to 16th notes on slow songs. And he said from that, so for example, you play 5.1.1 another, you start to see patterns which you're not familiar with, that are uncomfortable, right? So for example, he used V. He said V is a great example. This is all stuff you didn't understand or hear.
Well, I kind of understood he was talking about V.
Because he actually went to the machine and he was showing us different patterns. It was like, for example, with V, if you get like a 1, 4, 5, 7 random on the 1-piece side, and, you know, it's really awkward to hit, you know, bringing your finger across. Like, you identify it the first time and you try and flail through it, but then you recognize the pattern and then you try and hit it with your index. That's you know, a way of, like, developing versatility.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, he was, like, talking, once again, back on the, like, 100 BPM converting to 208 thing. He said, you take that concept of, like, versatility, like seeing new patterns and unique ways to hit it, and applying that to slower songs where it's basically hitting 8ths.
Yeah.
So for example, 5.1.1 is a good example. And then he said gradually you work up from slower songs like 100 to 110, 120, 130, until it just feels like you're hitting 8ths on like 140, 150.
Wow.
And yeah. You're saying, wow, you already knew this.
Well, no, but the thing is, I didn't hear that.
Oh, right, because you didn't understand. So,
No.
right. So Matt didn't quite comprehend, because I was listening to him, and
Yeah.
Yusuke was translating for Matt. But yeah, that's what he was saying.
So it was like hitting 8th notes at even at like 150 BPM.
Yeah, so it feels like that. So your taps are just as crisp hitting 150 as it is like 8th notes.
Wow.
And he was talking about the importance of sound. He said, like, the sound of the keys and the sound that you produce is really important for timing.
Yeah. He was talking about how no matter what the pattern is, the sound that your hits make on the keys should never change.
Yeah. He said that like, regardless of which side you are on, like where the pattern lies, like left or right, the sound should be constant.
Yeah.
It shouldn't change.
He said he would have to move his hand in different ways so that he can keep the sound the same.
Yeah.
Which basically made him versatile, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, because he said, like, you see these players, right, who play like really, really soft and you can't really hear the notes. He said, obviously you see these people can't time very well, as opposed to someone who's hitting very clearly. I think it's the same thing as like in the groove, where if you're stepping clearly,
Yeah.
and you can hear the steps, you'll time better.
But if you just hit really soft and
Yeah, then you're just going to
Can't
flail
be as
around and you won't
accurate, yeah.
time. So he said the same thing applies for timing streams, timing things like that, like awkward patterns. You just want to try and move your hands into a place where it sounds the best. And he was like, oh, I'll play around to give you an example. And I joined in. I was like, oh, I'd love to play too.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Yeah, you're not gonna pass that up.
And he picks freaking Steel Needle, and he's
Oh,
like, this is a perfect example of what I'm trying to talk about, right? So picks Steel Needle, and he's like, this is really random dependent. This song, I was like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And miraculously, he pulls a fucking 2-piece slap.
Yeah, right.
But he did. But it was good for explaining it, because he said, all right, see, in this we had like a 4, 5, 6, 7 pattern. I wasn't playing my normal style. I moved to index and thumb and then hit it. Like, I had to shift my whole hand across.
4, 5, 6. Yeah.
Yeah. And I said to him, like, I was like, yeah, but like for me it's just really hard to do that. I had to just, and you saw me doing that like that. And he was like, yeah, I understand. Like, you had to do that. So yeah, he did that, and then after that he's like, oh, another thing which is really good for training stuff like that is playing songs with lots of scratches with density. So the next song he picked was Galgum, and it was really good because the random we got wasn't ideal either. Like, it was a pretty choppy random, and
It was actually really bad for 2P.
yeah, it was terrible for 2P. It was okay for 1P, but I still had to transition a bit.
Yeah.
But after playing that, he got something ridiculous, like minus...
He got 45 grades. Perfect
45
combo.
greats
45
on
grades.
Galgam. And he's like, see, yeah, that was a perfect example, because I had to bring my hand across. I had to
Yeah, and watching
transition.
him do it, like, he moved around so much, like, he had to bring his left hand across a lot to hit it.
Yeah.
And he hit it perfectly. He didn't get any grades. Like,
It was just ridiculous.
oh my god.
Yeah. It was phenomenal to see, and it was just like, yeah, songs like that, which have lots of scratches, are really good for learning versatility.
Yeah.
Just because you've got to bring your thumbs across. You've got to do things like that.
Which I kind of suspected already, but I didn't think with
Yeah.
the whole hitting harder and the
Yeah.
key sounds, the key taps, that noise, and putting
Yeah.
those two together, like, made me realize that.
Yeah. It's a good thing I translated all of that out for this stream, because you didn't actually, like,
Yeah.
hear half of it.
I kind of just
Yeah.
picked up words here and there.
So he basically just said, like, yeah, you start off like with lower BPM stuff, which you're comfortable with, and just hit 8 notes with different like techniques, and you work up from there, and you just keep. And that is actually very interesting, because like with my 104.8, I started getting 104.8 into my style by doing that. On the 8th notes, I'd swap to 104.8, and then slowly it got transitioned into my normal technique. Like,
Wow.
you've seen, like, when I play,
Yeah.
I just swap naturally.
Yeah, the thing is, like, I've done similar things.
Yeah.
When I switched from symmetrical to 104.8, like, I just played a lot of 104.8.
Yeah.
Thinking, like,
You see, I never
kind of-
did that. I'd swap naturally on 8s, and then it would stick.
Interesting.
Because naturally, obviously, with 8s, they get faster and faster if you play harder
Yeah.
stuff. And, like, subconsciously, I did that, but even still, like, obviously, I'm not at your level. Like,
yeah.
but, I mean, that sort of approach is what he was talking about.
Well, I found it interesting that he took more of an approach with speed, BPM,
Yeah.
instead of the difficulty of the song.
Yeah, I think that was great, just
Yeah,
talking about
I
BPM.
never thought of that either.
Yeah, and I think that's an approach which no one's really explored in
Not
depth
really.
in the Western community. Which
Yeah,
I think
not
is
at
amazing.
all.
One positive thing I do want to say is a lot of the things that we've theorized as a community, just like without talking to the Japanese at all, has been surprisingly accurate. There were so many things which Toshia said, which we said, oh, you know, this is the same opinions, this is the same stuff which we've been
Yeah,
talking about. Like,
exact same stuff.
for example, like he said, oh, like you guys are already at a level where you understand this stuff quite well. And he said it really does come down to practicing, being open-minded, like having experience on the things that I've spoken about, just like constantly experimenting,
Yeah.
which is what we've been saying this whole time. I was like, wow, it is so similar, like the ideas. And I said it to him, I was like, you have no idea how amazing this is to hear, because we've been stabbing around in the dark, and to hear this from a top ranker is just like so reassuring.
It's really reassuring, yeah, that we actually are getting something right.
We've been getting it right, thankfully. On that topic of getting things right, there is one thing I do want to talk about that he mentioned. He was talking about KAC, actually, because we wanted to ask him about the machine, because obviously the keys were incredible, right?
Yes, yeah.
I asked him, I was like, do you actually know the loadout inside this machine? And he was like, I know the springs. He said the springs were 60 Gs. I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. He's like, I'm not so sure about the switches, but he said, I know they're under 100 Gs. So
Has to be
we theorized it had to be 50 because it was not light enough to be 25 or anything
not
lower.
at all, no.
So that machine was a 50-60. So we're like, okay, that's fair enough. Like that falls into the category, right?
Yeah.
And then he said, like, interestingly, for KAC, what they do is they take the machine out from Taito Station
Yeah.
and use it. I couldn't believe this when I heard it.
Yeah.
They take that machine, the one from behind the one we were playing on. He said they use that machine for KAC.
Yeah.
Interestingly, for KAC, what they do is they say we have to use the default because all the machines are default as one certain thing.
Mm-hmm.
So they put in 100 for KAC. And if you ever wonder why players aren't playing so well, it's because they're playing on a really fucking heavy setup.
Yeah,
like unbelievable.
200 gram keys, they suck so much.
And after playing that today, like you saw me play on 200 today.
Yeah,
And
you
then-
were struggling.
I was having trouble. I played Lovely Radiant. Oh my god.
That was a mistake.
That was such a mistake.
Even on the machine that I found was like 170.
Yeah, it was still too heavy. Yeah, it was just,
playing Quasar like hurt.
yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
playing on those sorts of setups is just really difficult because it's just too heavy. So if top rankers are struggling, there's probably a good reason for it.
Yeah, right.
Really a good reason. So he said that's what they did. But apparently for 2013, they tried different things. Like they cut the springs and did different stuff. But I don't know. Long story short, they played on a not so ideal setup for KAC. So that's probably why Dolce did so bad in 2012.
Yeah, right.
Anyways, so we're talking about setups, and I said to him, I was like, okay, what we have deduced is that there's a range. I said this to him in Japanese. I said basically we believe that anywhere between 100 grams and 150 grams is perfect.
Yeah.
Right. And he said to me that's actually spot on. That is exactly what the top rankers think as well. So you've heard it from a top ranker himself. 100 to 150 is perfect. And like, this is the thing, the whole day we were with Yusuke, right? And Yusuke was just constantly ranting, like, it's like, nah man, it needs to be a light setup. It has to be a light setup. Like, the light setup is the best for me. I don't understand how people play heavy, la-di-da-di-da, right?
Yeah.
And like, I wanted to clarify this with him, because I was like, okay, most of the machines in Tokyo are running light setups, as you've noticed.
They really are, like,
It's really
almost
surprising.
every machine is light.
Yeah, so, you know, most of them are light, and I was like, okay, is it actually the right thing? So I asked him, I was like, so Toshio, when rankers play, like all the best players, do they play at places which play on 70 grams or less? And he said, absolutely not. We do not go to any of those places. It is impossible to play on light setups. So, to all of these people have been going on like, nah, light setups are the way to go, it's the best thing. It is not. And I absolutely quote him, like translating this.
Yeah.
He said, because when you are playing, you cannot feel the button come up. You need a certain amount of resistance. Which is exactly the same thing I've been saying this whole time. When I heard him say that, my mind exploded. I was like, it is exactly the same as I've been explaining this whole time in every video I have made. Because it is so important.
It really is.
Yeah, so anyone who's playing on a light setup, and I said this to you, Scales, like you have to swap. Like you've heard it from
Really have to.
one of the best players in Japan. Like light setups are not the way to go. Heavy setups are not the way to go. You've got to have it between that range that I mentioned.
100, 120, 150.
Yeah, and he said like rankers will not play on anything besides that range.
Yeah.
Like
that
absolutely not.
refuse to do it. Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's the reason why everyone goes to that arcade, because the setups are bang on between that 100, 150
Yeah,
range.
exactly.
Yeah.
Ugh. Every machine.
Yeah, every machine is in between that range. It's
Except for
amazing.
one.
Yeah, the one on the very far end
Yeah.
was a little bit light, but even then, I mean, considering what we'd played on like in the other arcades, that felt beautiful. That Taito
really
station
did.
really is like the best thing.
Taito is the best arcade I've been to for actually in general.
Yeah.
Best arcade I've been to in general.
So yeah, so we just kept talking about this sort of stuff, like technique and positions and stuff like that, and we started talking about like his technique and how he can scratch and use 1048 style at the same time. And I actually asked him, I was like, you know, it's a common known thing, and most people say that your technique is only so good because your fingers are very long. Everyone says that your fingers are long. He's like, oh, not really, actually. And I put my hand up next to his.
Apparently they're not that big. Yeah.
My hands are the exact same size as Toshi's.
Yeah.
They are exactly
bigger.
the same. Actually, our hands look almost exactly the same.
Exactly, yeah.
Exactly the same. And he said to me, he actually said, it's like, oh, I can understand why people say that. He said, because of the cameras that we used, like back in Distorted and all of that stuff, the angle they took it at made his fingers look longer. When in actual fact, they are exactly the same size as mine. Like, to the T.
It was exactly the same size.
I couldn't believe it.
Surprised.
I was shocked. I was
Yeah.
like, there is no way, but it is. And then I asked him, I was like, so it just means that your finger is more flexible, right? Because I showed him, I did Toshiyashiki and the scratch. And I was like, so your fingers are just more flexible, right? Like, because everyone just presumed he has very flexible fingers, long flexible fingers. And I actually went, actually, no, that looks exactly the same. He did the exact same thing on the opposite side, and it was exactly the same as my hand. Like, he could barely reach it, but he could, like, it was I could not believe it. Like, when I do it and I say I can't do it because it feels weird, his hand looked exactly the same. It blew my mind.
Reaches it, but
Yeah.
he does it.
He barely reaches the scratch when he does that. Like, he reaches the same amount as me. And he does things that accurately. He said, like, it's just about learning to scratch very quickly. Like he said to me, you've just got to snap the scratch very quickly in order to do it this way. Because, like, it is possible, but, yeah, like, you've just got to be fast about it.
Yeah.
And he said, like, even Dolce, same thing. Like, he uses 1048 and he'll just snap back really fast in order to do it. So, all of you who think that, like, you know, Toshi's just got god hands, no, they're the same as mine.
Yeah, not that big.
Bang on, same as mine. So, yeah, like, technique-wise, if you say, oh, my hands are not big enough to 1048 and scratch,
He's got pretty small hands.
it's so unbelievable. It's like,
it really is.
like, I could not, once I saw it, I was like, no, this is, how?
I didn't believe it either. It was just
So, yeah.
so
like,
many preconceptions just went out the window.
yeah, so all these things that we believed about, like, top rankings players and all, like, concepts that they have, mentalities that they have, it all just completely changed.
Yeah, completely changed. We were right about a lot of stuff. We were also really wrong about a lot of stuff.
It was just so eye-opening to hear from him in person and talk
Mhm.
to him about this stuff, because, like, he just said, like, everything very clearly, very happily. I was just so surprised at how nice he was about sharing information.
Yeah, and he was so enthusiastic about it. Like,
Yeah.
you could tell he enjoyed
He
explaining
really,
it. as
really
he
enjoyed
did.
it. And he said the reason why there's not much information out on the internet is because it is so hard to explain in blogs and things like that.
I can see why.
Yeah, like he said, like, there's no way you could explain this properly in a blog. Like, you have to be in person and talking, which I think is the great thing about streaming and
Yeah.
doing stuff like this,
Because you
because
could basically do that.
yeah, we can do it like without having to write a big blog or something like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
and it's documented and people can see it in the future.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was just so good to hear from him in person. And then after all this talk, like, he seemed a bit awkward. He thought we didn't want to keep playing with him, but then he's like, oh, so do you want to... Like, I actually said, I was like, do you want to keep playing? And he was like, yeah. I was like, do you want to just keep playing games together? I was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So we kept playing rounds with him.
Yeah, we played a lot of rounds.
We
with
played at least, like I played like 3 or 4, and you played
I
like
played like 5, yeah.
So we just kept, like, rotating and playing rounds with him, and, like, you'd think, you know, top ranker guy, he doesn't really want to play with these stupid guidance, but he said to me, I was like, man, I'm really enjoying this, like, it is really, really fun.
Yeah, and you were telling me, like, he was smiling when he was playing with me.
Oh my god, there's something really funny that happened when it was playing with that, right? you gotta tell this story.
Okay, so, he wanted me to pick a song, and I went to the tens folder because I was kind of, like, tired. He made me play, like, Perditis and a bunch of other hard shit
that was
last round.
bullshit. I can't believe he picked Poditis.
Like, I was dead. I went from, like, a 10 to Perditis.
He
like,
picked
cold.
freaking Invoker Legendary on me, and to be fair, I did not too badly.
No, you did fine. Yeah.
I got like minus 73, but oh my god, I was like, I do not want to play this right now. I'm so tired.
When he picked Perditis on me after I just played a 10 going in cold into the game, I did
Yeah.
awful. But, like...
He didn't do too well either. He got like a 178 or something like that.
Oh, yeah, it's not that good. But
Like, that's like what JDR does average.
Oh,
It's
okay.
kind of scary. Yeah, so basically, he's
Anyway,
picking all these hard
yeah,
stuff.
so I'm like, I have to play a 10. So I picked a 10, or I was going through the 10s folder, and as I was scrolling by, I noticed something really quick. And I go back real quick to Rise Another, and I'm beating him by like 5 or 6 points. And I pointed out to him.
And it's just so funny because his reaction was priceless. He was just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
So
Beating me?
So we play it, and he still doesn't beat my score. And
No, the funny
And
thing is,
he's-
before he started the song, he says, like, I don't really play this song that often.
yeah.
And then once it's finished, he still doesn't beat Matt's score.
And then he was like all surprised about it and everything. It was so
God,
funny.
he was so embarrassed. Like, I'm so sorry.
That was so good.
Oh, it's fucking funny, man.
Oh
Seriously.
my god.
But, like, yeah, it was amazing, like, for me to watch. Because apparently Matt was trying to take in the concepts that he was saying.
Yeah, I
Like-
was
like-
experimenting around a lot with him, like while I was playing, so I wasn't doing that good. But I was like playing around with stuff. So just wanted, and it really is starting to work out already. Like I could tell
Yeah,
how I could already feel like how he plays, kind of.
Yeah,
Makes
so
sense to me.
It makes more sense, but like because of that, his scores took a bit of a dip at the start.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, that's playing like really shit.
Yeah, so I was playing really shitty.
But then once they hit like the third round, he was like, all right, I'll play seriously now.
Mm-hmm.
Just like actually just focus on timing. And holy shit, dude, you were playing very well.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, you were playing.
That he picked. I switched back to playing like normally and seriously when he picked number 13 on me.
Yeah.
And like I did pretty. I raised my scores. So that was
Yeah.
good. And then after that, I played Shade.
Oh my god, that Shade! Like watching them play Shade, I wanna tell them about this. Okay, like
You were watching, so it'd be better if you told them.
oh my god, like if you think that like there's a difference in top ranker and that, there is a clear difference at the moment, but like I seriously think it just comes down to consistency at this point because
he said it himself.
at Shade, when they got through the start, it was a pretty good random, mind you, but
it was okay, yeah.
But even so, Toshi came out with like 1 great, Matt came out with like
With
4.
the first.
Yeah, came out with 4. Okay. Matt choked in the jacks. Like by the time they got to
I
the
couldn't find the time.
yeah, when they got to the jacks,
I got like 10 right.
yeah, Matt had 4, Toshi had 5. But when they got to the jacks, they were even. They were dead even.
Mm-hmm.
After the jacks, Matt was 10 behind, and then he stayed 10 behind for basically most of the song, and then he lost 20 points in the end.
Yeah, well, it's because the end, he obviously better time at the end.
Yeah, yeah. So seriously, it was just crazy how good they both were. Another guy I was watching was just like, I cannot believe what I'm seeing.
Oh,
Like,
really?
He said the sound of the keys was so incredible. Like he said, I cannot hear a difference between the two. Like
Wow.
they're both.
That's really cool.
He said it was just hearing magic come out of the machine because like both of your taps were so in sync.
Really?
Yeah, for Shade, it was just
Wow.
insane.
I kind of wish I was watching.
Well, I should have
myself
freaking
play.
taken a video.
You
It
really
was
should
it
have.
was incredible watching you guys play Shade. Okay, it was like you got what like minus 70,
I got like minus 70.
and he got minus 40
40
or 50.
50. No, it's 50. He
Yeah.
got like 45.
So they were incredibly close on it, and the thing is like this whole time, right? What Matt didn't mention during Rise is that. He didn't see it, but I saw it. Toshio had a massive smile on his face. Like, he was really, really enjoying playing, like, with us. And
Yeah, I was so surprised. Oh my gosh.
like, before we even started, I just said to him, I was like, dude, if we're, like, interfering with your normal schedule, we can fuck off. But he was like, oh, no, seriously, just stay and play. And, oh, we just, like, Matt actually kept up with it. Like, minus a few consistency bits here or there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he seriously kept up with it, I reckon.
Which surprising to me once again. I mean, like I when you think of like top rankers, you think like they get like 30 greats on every song, right? Well, apparently not. Like they fuck things up too. And some of the scores he got were kind of surprisingly low.
Yeah, actually, talk about his consistency because I need to take a piss.
Oh, okay.
I'll
So,
be back.
his consistency was interesting. I mean, some songs he just destroyed like usual top ranker status, like when he played Galgalim. He had like 17 or 18 greats going into the middle, and he got another 10 at the end. He could have beaten his record, but man, that was ridiculous. But on other songs, like harder stuff, like Perditis, like he was saying, he didn't AAA Perditis, or like he didn't do really especially well, and he probably got like a AAA minus 100 and something, but I don't think he was playing too seriously. And earlier, when we saw him playing Black, he was like minus 17 from his record the whole time, and it was really good. And then like the last Digitank part comes up, and he fucks it up really bad and gets like minus 120. But his consistency overall is just ridiculous. He played Fire. I played Fire with him, and I noticed that like the halfway point when I had like 60 or 70 greats, he had 20 or 30 in Fire. I mean,
Firefire was ridiculous.
yeah,
seriously.
like we
Mind
got
you, you guys got an amazing random.
great random, absolutely great random. But just his consistency.
His consistency is amazing.
It's-
It really just comes down to how consistent of a player you are.
Yeah, I mean his top scores are obviously
Ridiculous.
dumb, but like his consistency, it's like seeing his consistency, I mean, not seeing him not get scores that are like his top scores all the time. I mean, his consistency is still very good, but it makes it seems like being or hitting top ranker status is more feasible almost.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I guess my average on some stuff wasn't very far from his average.
Yeah.
Just that his top scores are dumb. Yeah.
Interesting though, I wanted to point out that I asked him about his play counts because like he doesn't show his play counts on his card. And I said, in Sparta, how many plays have you had? And he was like, oh, I'm not actually really sure. So he checked, and Toshia has played literally exactly the same amount of credits as Matt has.
Yeah. I have like 1330. He has 1350.
Yeah. So it's amazingly close how much he still plays. Like.
Yeah.
For that. And I asked him as well, like, because we saw Snow. I was like, oh, we saw one of your rivals, Snow. Is he still playing really often? He was like, yeah, he is. And like, wow. Like, it's just surprising to see even after all this time.
Yeah, like they still play a lot. I didn't think 1048 played that much.
Yeah. Like, you thought that he'd just gone low key, but he still does play a lot.
It is low key, but he still plays a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, like all these other plays. But anyway, like, he's just. I don't know what to say. Like, it was just really nice, like, being there.
It was quite an experience.
Like, it's really interesting, though, because I got the same vibe from him that I get from playing with JDR. Like, he's really good, but at the same time, he's not showy offy. He's not, like, he's just a normal guy who's having fun.
Yeah, and, like, the songs that he picked when he was playing with us, it wasn't stuff that he was really good at just to show off or whatever. It was stuff that he wanted to show us what's good to practice.
Yeah, which I thought was incredibly good.
Yeah.
Like, incredibly nice. And then with
really nice.
But the round with you, like, he just picked stuff that he wanted to play.
Oh, yeah. He
Like,
did.
number 13.
Number
I was like,
13.
oh my god, it's top rank, it's so good. And he picks... Did you pick Stolte or did he?
I picked Stumpy.
Yeah, you said
Yeah. Yeah.
But I watched a video of him playing Stolte like a million times.
Yeah, because it's a great video.
You know what's very interesting? You both did the same trick at the start.
Oh,
I
I
you-
learned it from that video.
Yeah,
That's why.
I saw you both do it at the exact same time. Okay, you both pressed the same keys.
Yeah, like after it happened, I realized, shit, he's the guy that taught me this technically.
I was gonna tell him after that. I was like, he learnt the trick from you, and he taught it to me.
Yeah, that was funny.
But yeah, they got an incredibly shit random on Stolte
Awful,
too,
yeah.
and yeah, seeing him handle bad randoms, I think was more interesting than seeing him handle good randoms. Like,
Well, obviously, but
I mean, when I was playing V with him, like,
yeah, actually, you could see like on bad randoms, he moves way more, moves
Yeah.
around a lot more. But like obviously good randoms, he's more comfortable, but he moves around significantly more on bad randoms.
we got a reason. Like, it was the middle of V was really good, but for the most part, it was a really shitty random.
But it was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7. I think.
Yeah, okay. In the middle, it was the perfect random for his side, but overall, it was the 1-5-3-7.
Yeah, but the thing
combo.
is, for him, he went into the denim part
Yeah.
with like 18 greats.
Are you serious?
And then he got like 30 goods. Like, and it was a
Oh my
it was
God.
the perfect slap. Like I seriously thought.
I honestly think that the slap is the worst thing you can get for that, because
maybe when you're as good as him, I'm
Yeah.
sure he can handle other patterns much better.
yeah. But he fucked up the slap. He totally scrubbed up the slap.
He was doing ridiculous up until that.
Yeah.
Which, and then even at the end, he did okay. Not that
Yeah.
good.
I mean, he only got like 190k at the end of the song. Which
Yeah.
really surprised me.
It was because of all of those goods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The goods just fucked him over. But
Yeah.
yeah, like, he literally, I swear that was the same random he got at top ranker.
It
Like,
must-
I said to him, it was like, was that the random you got? And he was like, oh, it's about the same, yeah. Which is why he did so shit in like 2006.
Yeah.
That was another interesting thing. His occupation. Before Yusuke left, he asked, so what's your job? And stuff like that. And he was like, oh, actually, I own my own company.
Yeah, he's a CEO.
He's the CEO of his own company. It's a small company, but apparently it's keeping him afloat. And before that, he was working in a fashion
Yeah.
company, which makes sense. I mean,
Since
he
yeah,
dresses.
he was always so well dressed.
Yeah, like it really does make sense. So, oh man, just it's so surprising here because you hear Dolce worked at a supermarket. And now
Yeah,
he's a
right.
DJ.
Right.
It's really interesting the way that he just like brought Dolce in as well, like explaining things. Because I don't know
Yeah,
if you heard, but he was
I
like,
did.
yeah, Dolce also does this. Dolce's a little bit different in this way, etc., etc. But like,
It's kind of. I thought it was interesting, or it was really nice how like he. It seems like he dissects it
yeah,
as much as like we do. Like
Yeah.
he thinks of it in a really technical manner,
yeah,
and it seems like all the other top rankers do too.
yeah. So
So the
it's-
way he talked about it and brought in other players with it and how they were different and all that other stuff.
yeah, and talking about like, I spoke to him about like Takas and Una 10 and things like that, and he was like, yeah, I understand all of that.
Oh wow.
So it was just really great to talk to him about all of these things which have always been a mystery to us. Like,
Yeah.
what do these players think? Like, how do they?
Like, how do they function? Like, what's their secret? And honestly, I think the information that he gave us is like what the game changer kind of like. That's what separates them from us.
I think, yeah, honestly,
And I think it's like basically just his tips and like generally what he taught us, along with dedication, and then you could be a top ranker.
I think it's interesting as well because when he was playing with Matt, I said to him like, you know, he's so good and he's still so young, and I actually said, do you think this guy's got like serious ability? And he was like, he's still very young. I think he's going to get much better. He said, you know, he's still got many years to get better. So I think you do have the potential.
Just
To
really
get there.
flattering to hear, but I hope I do. I really do want to be a top ranker someday. And honestly, with what he told me, and I kind of know what I want to practice now, I finally know like what I should change about my style or how I can
Yeah.
change it, which was a big deal for me.
It really was like just to hear his explanations was so good. And
So helpful.
I just like I'm so thankful to him. The other thing, all right, on a final note, seeing as we've
Been
spoken
almost
for
an hour.
yeah almost an hour
Just
talking about this,
ranting
about the loss, but seriously, it was a once in a lifetime experience. Like
absolutely, yeah.
like I even said to Tosha before your final round, I was like, this guy, like, he just dreamed of an experience like this. Like, we never thought we'd have this experience.
Yeah.
And we are just so thankful that we get this opportunity. Like, it's just
Amazing.
absolutely amazing. So before we left, I actually said to him, like, okay, there's so many things I still want to ask you, and I'm sure there's lots of things that other people want to ask you. So would it be okay if I got like a way to contact you to keep asking questions? It's like, yeah, sure. So we actually swapped contact details, meaning if you have questions for Toshia, feel free, like, this will go on YouTube obviously,
Yeah.
but feel free to leave them in the comments section of YouTube, or in like just message me on Facebook or
Like
something,
American TV.
or on American 2DX. Like, if you've got questions, post them. If you want to know things, seriously post them, because I can get them translated and I can send them directly to him.
There's really no better source unless it was from Dolce.
Yeah.
I mean, even at that, I feel like
At that
1048 and Dolce's information is probably equally.
It's
as good.
equally as
Yeah.
viable, honestly. Like, I don't think it gets much more credible than
No,
that.
no,
But
it doesn't.
yeah. It's just a shame because he actually asked if we're still going to be around. He actually wanted to meet up with us more in the future.
Really?
And Yusuke actually told him Matt's just visiting, and sadly, yeah, Daniel's leaving pretty soon. So he was actually really sad to hear. He was like, "Oh, that's like really sad," because he was having a lot of fun. So,
Damn it. I
so
didn't
Matt,
tell him
you
that.
got to move to Japan.
Yeah, apparently I do.
Honestly, like, learn Japanese and move here and just play with Toshio.
Yeah. Fucking bros with Toshio. Okay.
But yeah, seriously, guys, like, if there's anything else that you guys want to ask him, like, he is now available. Like, we can get questions to
Yeah.
him.
And he'll be glad to answer them. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, he's been, like, yeah, as I said, overall, just such a nice guy. But
Such a great guy.
the experience was just so unbelievable. And even, like, we were just talking about the whole way coming back to the hotel.
It
So.
was just like no words. Just what just happened. Like, I can't believe that just played like 2DX with 1048 for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
It was just I never would have thought, even coming to Japan.
So yeah, there you go. I don't know. I think we covered everything in quite a bit of depth. So
Quite a bit of depth. I think we've talked for longer than we should have at this point. But
yeah. All right. So
we've been talking.
if anyone in the chat has anything that you want to ask, like, feel free to just like beam it up. We're more than happy to answer.
If anybody.
Well, we've got Sigma and Fabio and Yusuke's here as well.
Yeah, Yusuke.
So Yusuke, you need to swap to heavy setup. Seriously. Like,
Yes,
we told you. You've heard it from Toshio. You got to do it. So, that's the way. Oh, while I'm here, the other thing I'm going to mention is we did get the green light on the Nova tournament.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you ever see players that use a stall? No. Every
Never.
single player here stands. Every player stands when they're playing.
Not many of them power stance, but a lot of them do a really.
They do a hunch like this.
a really uncomfortable looking hunch.
Yeah.
Like
I don't
they
know.
must get back problems from that. And some of them are pretty tall, like maybe
Yeah.
even 6 feet. I saw one guy that must have been at almost 6 feet,
Yeah.
and he was hunching over and like
They
crouching.
they do a hunch, and they do a really bad hunch too.
This looks terrible.
I don't
I
like.
can't see that being comfortable with like
I
how your
really
hands
don't.
are that elevated. But to be fair, they weren't very good either. So.
The most relaxed player, hands down, was XXXXX.
That guy, he stood like he was just like slouching.
Just whatever.
And then like his face was just he didn't have a game face. He was just like, I don't give a shit.
That's how Gokun looks when he plays.
Really?
Yeah, Gokun just looks like he does not give a fuck. So,
Like it seems like he's probably thinking about 20 different things while he's getting a 93 on Bad Maniac. It's like
yeah, whatever, bro.
And then it was funny when he broke Conway, he was
He's
like,
like, oh fuck. So yeah, literally no players sit when they're playing. Like,
No.
it's just in Japan, it's a no-no. Like it's just expected that you stand at the cabinet.
well, there aren't really that many places to sit in general. So I mean, it probably stems from that.
Yeah. So yeah, no sitting. Like everybody stands.
Mhm.
And I was actually interested to see Toshi's stance. Like he stands a lot wider than I thought he would.
Yeah, he does. He does kind of a power stance.
He does a little bit of a power stance, but it's not like super power stance. Does 104 play other than money? We actually didn't ask him.
No, we
that.
didn't. I can't believe we didn't ask him that.
We're too busy asking him everything about 2DX.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think he just focuses on 2DX because
He only goes at like night.
yeah, that's the thing. This we didn't mention. He only goes to that arcade apparently A on weekends or B public holidays apparently
Mm-hmm.
because it's a Monday, and he goes really late at night. And he told me he was like, exact same reason that Kevin has. Because like there's a lot of people during the day.
Yeah.
And you know, if I want to actually get good scores, then I have to play when no one's around.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes in at like 11 o'clock and he plays until 1. And he just says like that's the only time when I can really get scores. Like I can't really do well.
I also just realized right now that today is so not only did we miss him on the weekend, but we managed to get him on a holiday.
Yeah.
So like I just happened to be here on a holiday and then just happened to go to Taito and fucking Toshidex.
The
Adds to
chances
the
of that
experience.
happening is just like so
Slim to none.
minimal. But yeah, like other than money, I really don't think he focuses on it because considering he only plays like for 2 hours on
Yeah, I can't see him playing other games.
Yeah, honestly. Beatstream, no, we have not tried. I don't know. if
I
it-
almost don't even want to. I mean, I know I have to because I'm in Japan
It
and
just
this
looks
is
like an
like the
official re-rave.
no. It doesn't look like it. It really doesn't look at all like re-rave. It just looks like shit.
It looks pretty terrible.
Like I saw some people playing it, and I just don't even know what to say about it. Like there was notes. There's these circles on the like around the main little
Yeah.
hexagon thing,
Yeah.
but there's notes that come to the circles, and then there's notes that go over the circles, but they're different notes.
I don't get it. I don't want it.
I don't know.
No.
I'd rather play Sound Voltex and Reflect Beat and U Beat because god damn, those were some good songs.
Yeah, Groovin has some. Oh, the UB songs are incredible.
The Encounter and Unison Note. Oh my gosh.
So there you go. No, we have not played Beatstream. No, I have not managed to convince play Dan Evo or Future Tom Tom yet.
Nope.
So. Sadly, yeah, you're gonna have to wait on that.
Yeah. Sadly.
You know, it's time to Toyohashi.
Oh yeah. Okay.
We're over there. Yeah, as well.
Mine as well. Yeah. Okay.
Don't worry, I'll be sure to film a Tatsujin of him playing freaking Dan Dance Evolution something, I don't know.
Oh god, that is something. Okay, so the thing about sound Voltex,
Do they modify spring switches?
they don't
This
modify
is really
them.
interesting, actually.
Yeah, they don't modify them at all. The thing is, I noticed with every ASC I've played on, the keys are really, really, really light on them. Because at the arcade, they have to be at least 200-gram switches. Like, they're really heavy.
The thing is, like with Sound Voltex, the actual layout should be heavier, and the reason why is because you don't need to do light taps.
Yeah,
It's
and
mostly-
even at that, I think it helps with timing.
yeah, like the buttons are really heavy and crisp.
Yeah, it makes the hits sound really good. The
Like,
key hits.
it's the opposite to 2DX, where you need them to be
A certain
moderate,
way, yeah, but
and then,
Sound
like,
Voltex
you need them
keys-
to be light.
Sound Voltex keys need to be heavy.
Yeah, so I agree. Like they really should be heavy.
Oh, and also the knobs on all the ASCs I've played on, I guess, suck because like actual arcade knobs, it's really not that hard doing like knobbing sections.
Yeah.
But like on an ASC, you have to be a lot more precise. So if
I
someone
think-
gets really good in America on an ASC, you could probably go to Japan and be a top ranker. So
Well, there you go. So it's
Yeah.
like, it's a little bit different between the knobs, and obviously ideally you want a heavier setup, not a light setup. So anything over 150 would be ideal, I think.
I think 200 or over.
Yeah, so it should be heavy. It really should be heavy.
Yes, it should be.
But yeah, like I didn't play much Sound Voltex. I'm not a big Sound Voltex person, but yeah, I don't know. Like, did you obviously find like playing it massively different?
Yes. Like the first couple games I played here, I was actually like lost. Like I was significantly worse than like what I would do at home on an ASC.
Yeah.
But then like 4 or 5 games later, I was doing way better. Way better.
Dude, seeing your last run of Panicolic was pretty ridiculous.
That was really good. Yeah, I got like a 960 or something.
Yeah. And this is like after you haven't even played 10 games yet.
No. Like on these machines, I'm picking it up pretty quick. I want to see if I can pass like a good amount of 15s before I leave.
I don't know, honestly, if you put the time in, which obviously
Maybe
you're going
even
to
a
do.
16.
Ooh, let's
Oh,
see.
boy.
Let's see if you get that.
I probably have to grind too much to actually get to the point where I can buy them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyways, that basically covers everything I think
Yep.
we wanted to talk about. I mean, I wanted to just focus on like the experience with meeting Toshio because it was, as I said, a one in a lifetime thing. And
Yeah, that was great. Oh my gosh.
yeah, I do not know how to explain it. You never really know.
No, you really can't. Like, it was an experience.
What's an amazing experience.
Can't describe it.
Yeah, that's it from us. Thank you very much for watching. Just
Thank you.
Yep. And keep in mind, obviously, we've got the Nova tournament coming up on the weekend, so please tune into
watch.
that. Watch
It'll be
Matt
really good.
beast with some of the best in my area. Obviously not Tosh at all, but seriously, you'll have the same vibe. You'll enjoy it.
I'm sure I will.
And yeah. Oh, do you guys have any film of him playing? Yes, we did take some videos, and I will try and upload them, but obviously they're not like really good videos.
Yeah, yeah. I really should have recorded you guys playing Invoker Legendaria.
That was freaking beast. Like I felt the start, I did so freaking well.
Yeah, you full comboed it for a long time. Like,
So yeah.
that was good.
Yeah, it's a shame he did film it. Yusuke also took some footage, but it's like really bad because he kept moving around too much.
Yeah.
Trying to find a good angle. And
Good job, Yusuke. Oh wait, what is 1048 used for pacemakers?
Oh, that's interesting actually.
He just uses his best.
He just uses his best. He doesn't use anybody else's scores.
Yeah, and he doesn't use a ghost either.
No, he doesn't. Yeah.
But he uses fast slow.
he uses fast slow. So that's another thing. He's fast slow. It's very important.
It really is. I mean, that XXXXX guy didn't.
I don't understand.
I don't. That guy was just a mystery to me.
Don't. Yeah. Also, if you're wondering about his green number, oh, that's another thing we didn't talk about. Fuck. His green number is 278.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And he said, same thing with us, depending on the types of songs he's playing, he will adjust his green number by 1 or 2 points.
So if it's a faster song, like when he played, what did he play? He played something with you, and he adjusted his green number.
Yeah, so he actually
Something
does,
really hard,
he
yeah.
does the same thing that we do, which is change your green number up or down.
But one thing I've already said this kind of, but he focuses a lot more on BPM
Yeah.
than like in terms of technique and just theory. than like I've ever thought of before.
Which is amazing.
But it makes a huge amount of sense,
It does.
especially when he explains it.
So yeah, there you go. When you're thinking about technique, focus on like the advice that you get, because obviously it's the best.
It really is, like, seriously.
And I'll talk about like sticking to things, but that's a separate video. So I just wanted to talk about
Yes.
Yeah, that's it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know it's very
Thank you for
early.
watching.
And please watch the tournament. Please show your support. Root for Matt.
We might do some test streams before, right? Just
Hopefully,
streaming from Nova.
If we've got a chance.
Yeah,
we'll
we
see.
do have a chance. I'd love to do that.
But yeah, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's it for tonight. Thank you so much for watching.
Yes,
and yeah, see you later.
See you later.